Greasy back alleys, dark nights, rain, the fedora and trench coat clad hero facing evil and refusing to quit no matter how many people tell him to stop. This is film noir. Film noir is a genre that really begins late 1930s but catches fire after World War II and holds strong right up until today. Film noir has this central character, the hard-boiled detective, whose main goal and quest is to find the truth, no matter what the odds. Much of the tension in film noir is built because of the conflict between this hard-boiled detective and the femme fatale. The femme fatale, beautiful, cunning, and uses her womanly charms to try to manipulate this hero, to use him to protect herself, sometimes innocently and sometimes not so much. These films often take place in an urban maze, in a labyrinth of alleys and streets that mimic the twists and turns of the plot. In addition to that, the theme of film noir is not a positive theme. Perhaps post-World War II, the world wasn't ready for happy endings. And very often in film noir, the endings are ambiguous at best and downright evil at its worst. In this unit, we're going to take a look at how you can tell film noir both from the composition of the frame, by the actions of the characters, and by the theme. The content of the frame, the composition of the frame of film noir is marked most notably by the absence of key light. Key light is that main central light that lights a character's face. Fill light is that generally less intense light that provides some definition. In film noir, you'll diminish the key light and add fill light, and half-shadow faces will dominate the frame, perhaps concealing the fact that almost all of these characters deal in half-truths. In addition to that, you'll see character types that are typical of film noir. The hard-boiled detective, this search for truth, the femme fatale, this evil woman trying to manipulate the detective to her own ends. And then the theme, that there isn't always a clear line between right and wrong, that there isn't always good and bad, and that good doesn't always triumph. The first film noir that we're going to watch is the 1946 theatrical release of The Big Sleep. Now, there are two versions of The Big Sleep that are commonly available. There's the 1945 version that only played for soldiers overseas. Then there's the 1946 theatrical release. Now, the 46 release differs in quite a few ways from the 45. During the filming of The Big Sleep, it was thought that this film would make Lauren Bacall a star. And when the producer looked at the first cut, he realized that she wasn't featured as prominently as he wanted her to be. Martha Vickers, who plays Carmen, was actually a little more notable than Lauren Bacall. So the film was reshot. Key scenes were added. The horse racing scene in the bar that happens about midway through, where Vivian tries to deter Marlowe from continuing. The scene where Vivian meets Marlowe when he returns Carmen home after her incident at Geiger's house. These scenes were shot about a year after principal filming wrapped and then included in the 1946 version. Now, if you're watching this film on Netflix, you're going to see the 1945 and you're going to miss those crucial scenes. In addition to that background, it's also notable that this film features the on-screen pairing of Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart, who were in real life an item at the time. Bogart was in a contemptuous, love-forsaken marriage with a woman who was generally known to be both a drunk and vicious. And he had fallen in love on the set of the 1944 To Have and Have Not with a 19-year-old Lauren Bacall. Now, Bogart was a wreck of a man, alcoholic, depressed, and dreading his impending divorce. but Bacall loved him anyway. Much to the confusion and actually to the anger of Howard Hawks, the director of The Big Sleep. Hawks had a reputation for casting women not just for their acting prowess, but also because he was attracted to them, and he couldn't for the life of him see what Bacall saw in Bogart. After principal filming for The Big Sleep wrapped, Bacall and Bogart, after Bogart's divorce was finalized, got married. And when the film was released, they were a newlywed couple. And they remained married until his death in 1957 of throat cancer. So, enjoy The Big Sleep. Look for the characteristic traits of film noir. Try to find scenes where Bogart is forging ahead despite the fact that everyone tells him to stop. Look for scenes where Bacall knowingly tries to manipulate Bogart, where Vivian Rutledge tries to get Marlowe to do her bidding. Look for the lighting and the shadow, how everyone seems to sort of be half cast in this misty light. Take a look at how the plot and the twists and turns of the plot leave us and the detective at a loss. Most of all, sit back and enjoy the witty repartee of Philip Marlowe, the writing of Raymond Chandler, and the screenplay of William Faulkner. 1946, The Big Sleep.